Okay, before I get into how you communicate through your soul senses with the spirit world, with on a higher conscious level with others, whether they're animals, non-vocal humans, your mate that's not listening, your kids that aren't understanding you and all that, God, angels, all the above, I need to lay some groundwork. And the groundwork is to prepare you for what might come up, but also to solidify you in the experience so that you can have a valid experience and not one that is purely embellishments of your ego mind. So that is what this session is all about. I hope you enjoy. Okay, I'm really excited to tell you this part. Now, I do my work, or I connect with spirit in or through the realms of spirit with beings in different ways. See that correction? I hope you know what I mean. The longer you listen, the more you're going to get my verbiage. So listen, you can connect through spirit, through the senses of the soul, in your mind's awareness, your soul's awareness, when you're in your day-to-day life and just going about your thing, right? But there are other times when it really calls for focused awareness and focused attention. And this is what I kind of call sitting with spirit. And so these next steps that I'm going to talk to you about have to do when you're taking the time to sit with spirit. So you've really turned off the phone, you don't have any interruptions around, you found a quiet space, and you're going to take the time to just really learn and develop your practice of sitting with spirit and tuning in. And so these steps have to do with those moments. They're really, really important in creating your new foundation for this work so that when you're out and about or seeing people or helping friends or listening for the voice of God, connecting with loved ones on the other side when you're, going for walks or whatever, it will come easier because you have developed it in your sitting practice. All right. So I'm really excited that you're tuning in for today's session. Because you are giving undivided attention, you are focused, and there has to be intention setting. With this work, intention is everything. You have to know where you want to go, who you want to communicate with, and really figure out what is your goal in this connection process. So first thing is intention. Intention is everything. And paramount to that, truth. Absolute truth is what you want to get. And you can't go in lazy. You have to surrender to what's the highest truth here. Not like blanket truth, but the highest truth. And what is for the highest good for me to know or have occur here. That's really important. Intention is key. The next step is to surround yourself with protection. You can do this in an instant, right? Surround yourself in a bubble, your auric field bubble of light and love. I'm going to get into more what that means, the auric field. But for now, for those of you that are eager, chomping at the bit to get into this, I want you to be guided accurately. So it's about surrounding yourself with the intention that you are protected in the light and you will only be connected with the highest beings that are aligned with your truth or the truth of who you want to get in touch with. My dad's on the other side, so I'm surrounding myself with light that's no one else shows up and starts talking to me, acting like they're my dad. So do you understand what I'm saying? So the intention is just, I am protected. I am in a bubble of light and love. And I am directing this for my highest good in this moment. So it's protection. This is about surrounding yourself with love and protection. What do I mean when I say surround yourself with light? What am I actually doing? I am imagining a field of light around me for the sole purpose of protecting me so that no weirdos come and enter into my space. But it also helps contain the sacredness of the time so that I don't mentally embellish. It's really setting that intention that it's a higher vibration, a higher frequency, so that it's not the density of my ego mind thoughts, but it's a higher frequency in the spiritual realm. Listen, you just set the intention, all right? You don't need to know the mechanics of it. I don't know the mechanics of it. It's just with intention. I know it's real. There it is. It's just what I do. It's what you can do too. Just imagine a big ball of light around you. If you see it, fabulous. If you don't see it, trust it's there, right? Because you're setting the intention. And you can even ask your angels, can you just surround me with light to hold my frequency and to hold the energy of this sacred work that I'm entering into? Because it really is sacred work. You're going to commune with spirit. You're going to try to connect to your highest soul purpose or connect with spirit realm. And so it's work of spirit, right? Okay, so that's what I mean when I say surround yourself with light. Now, this next bit is about how you need to enter into the space. And yes, I'm going to be definitive and say you need to, whether you like that or not. This is just me teaching, okay? You need to surround and ground yourself. You need to surround yourself with light, ground yourself into your body. Now, we can talk later about astral projection and going to the higher realms of spirit to converse with them, because you can totally converse with them in the higher realms, or you could converse with them while in your body physical. But first of all, I just want to say how you have to ground in your own energy field. And I am going to tell you now what that means. So what that means is taking the time to light a candle, sit in a quiet place, undisturbed, maybe like hide out in a room or something, take the phone off the hook, whatever. So there's no distractions and no disturbances, and no music, nothing. This is about you just being in the space of your own awareness, because that will heighten your awareness to the other realms and the connection. But grounding your energy is also about like not thinking of your family or all the to-do list or anything like that. That's scattered energy, because when you start thinking of that, you're there. I'm talking about grounding your energy, your mental awareness, your mental, emotional, physical, spiritual awareness within your body. And the way you often can do that is just by the breath, breathing in and breathing out, or feeling your feet touch the ground. Very important, feeling your feet anchored, tethered to the earth, the support of the earth. And I've mentioned grounding before. I'm going to mention more again, but this is an important aspect of when you're taking the time to do these next steps as you tune in to guidance, inner communication skills. Okay, grounding is important. So the way to ground with the breath is just, I often close my eyes, is I take one breath in, and that's, again, remember sitting in stillness, one breath in and pulling in all the scattered energy, no thoughts or anything, just focusing on the breath, and then exhaling and imagining my energy that I've just collected in, all bits of me, pressing it down through my feet into the core of the earth. In the future, I'm going to talk about energy in your chakras and your auric field and stuff like that. But right now, it's just setting the intention of imagining all your energy coming back into your body, just being all here connected, breathing it in to your body physical, and then exhaling it, that energy, feeling tethered and grounded to the earth, if you will, and in full contact and support, feeling your feet beneath you and really registering that you're just all here, all now. And grounding is, again, I feel, about really mindfulness to your thoughts. So you're not thinking other things. You're not going other places in your mind. You're not thinking of other people or your to-do list. You're present in this moment. So you're grounding your mind, you're grounding your body, and you're grounding, thoughts, actions, heart, everything, just by intention. So that just means you're breathing in, collecting all the scattered bits, and then breathing out, exhaling it down through your legs and the soles of your feet into Mama Earth. Once you have grounded, now it's time to kind of ring up the phone to who you want to connect your soul awareness to so that you can have communication take place. So this is where you think of the being, whether it's a loved one that has crossed, or your own highest awareness, or God, or the angels, or your guardian angel, or an enlightened being. This is when you would decide, all right, with intention, this is the person or the being that I want to talk to. And you just imagine them coming before you, or you imagine going to them where they're at. Again, I am doing this briefly right now in today's session. Later sessions, I will go into depth more after I've told you the various ways that your soul gives and receives communication. But I just wanted to say that here you put out the phone call. This is who I want to talk to. Please come and talk to me, or please come and connect with me. And then you open your heart and mind to have that clear connection. So let me tell you a bit about realms of spirit. You know, today's session might be a little futuristic, and then you'll backtrack and want to listen to it again. Because this work is like all woven together, right? So I'm trying to teach you how to have a sitting practice before I've actually told you about how the ways you can receive communication. But it's all right. You're doing great. Stay with me on this. So right now I'm going to actually mention realms of spirit, right? Okay. So like I said, like I told you, there's ways where you can go to the spirit realm and connect with spirit, or spirit can come to you, and you're not really moving your soul. You're just having your soul's awareness be connecting to what they're trying to say. Do you know I was going to say the frequency of the connection? Because it really is that. I'm so sorry, but it's that. But don't get caught up in that kind of verbiage, all right? So realms of spirit. So there's what's called astral, or loved ones that have crossed hang out in astral. It's also the dreamscape. They're intermingled. I'm going to get deeper into each of these later. I just want a brief introduction to them now. So it's where loved ones that have crossed, the dreamscape occurs there. It's also where guides that have walked the planet can be, not evolved guides, but regular, just guides. So there's a lot happening in that realm. And there's also what's called trickster energy. All right. Maybe people or spirits that are on the other side and they don't have your best interest at heart. Sadly, tragically, woe is my heart that the fact is that the same thing occurs on planet Earth, that there are people here that don't have your best interest at heart. And the same thing happens in spirit realm. So I'm going to prepare you for how you deal with those beings that are not for your, don't have your best interest. All right, that's astral. As you move up through frequencies of vibration, the higher you go, the lighter the vibration becomes. So it's going to be a really different connection, and I'm going to be really excited to work with you on each of these realms. But again, this is just a brief mention. So you get into higher guides, and they're capable of more evolved knowledge to share with you and connection, and then enlightened beings that have passed in the various realms. These are our spiritual leaders from all walks and all faiths. And also then higher still, the angelic realm, very different, right? I'm not going to spoil all the surprises yet about that. And then connecting to the divine, and all that is higher still. Now, where do the elementals? Where are they? You kind of probably are wondering, how can I talk to my dog? And what about those rocks you talk to, Constance? Or what about my plants that I know I can hear, that they listen to me? Elementals, now that's a tricky thing. I'm just going to for now say they're in there, because I need to dive in deep when we go into the elemental and those realms, because it's a really interesting experience, and it's different, could be different for each of you. So I want to give it its due time. All right. So I think that's a good start with the realms of spirit, and just hold tight. We're good. So those of you that might have gotten your feathers ruffled a bit when I said enlightened beings that have walked the planet and are in the spiritual leaders of the various religions on the earth, and then above that is the angelic realm. I'm talking about vibrational frequencies in methods of communication, all right? Because when an enlightened being has lowered their essence, their vibratory plane, to come down and connect on the planet Earth, when you connect with them in spirit realm, the vibration is different, and it feels more dense, closer to maybe seeing someone, as opposed to speaking and connecting with an angel of light. That is pure light, all right? But clearly evolved beings can move through the realms, all right? Just trying to clarify that for you. So while my friend Stephanie was off studying at the College of Psychic Studies, I was home sitting with spirit in my room with my eyes closed, tuning in. And my grandmother came through. And that was the day she taught me. One particular day, she taught me how to throw light, to check for truth. And interestingly enough, when I talked to Stephanie, she said, oh my God, that is just what we learned this week at school. And I said, I so wish I was there in London at the College of Psychic Studies and Insight and Intuition. And she said, why, you're getting it for free in your living room, which I thought was hilarious and hysterical. So why did my grandmother teach me to throw light? It was to check truth. So when someone shows up in your spiritual visual space, or even speaking to you and you're hearing the voice, you put your hands on your heart and you ask the highest being, whether that's God for you, the cosmos, the all that is, but it's beyond your mental mind and your own personality. And you're asking with your intention, are you of God, or are you who you say you are? Are you of truth? Are you of light? These are all synonymous. I use are you of God because that's where I go. So if you want to say, are you of truth? So you're backing that with the full intention of this is I want to know, are you who you say you are? And so you can also throw light. Like if you see someone in your field of vision, in your mind's eye, or externally a spirit, you can throw light at them to see, are they who they say they are? You can even ask, are you of God? I use that all the time especially when I was starting out, not so much now, because you can feel it if their energy is true and good and pure. Very different resonance than trickster energy. I'm going to get into that in a minute. Trickster energy. But the throwing of light, are you of God? Are you of the truth? Are you of the highest good? So that if you're meeting a guide or even a loved one that has crossed, that you're like, I want to have a good conversation with them. But you need to check, are they who they say they are? And do they have your highest in good and your highest intention at heart? And it will also throwing light at them. What happens is that they'll either puff up like a banning rooster, get big, you'll feel it in your heart will feel warm, you might get tears, you're like, oh my gosh, this is totally who they say they are. That's why when I was like, are you of God? And the voice came back, I am God. My whole body knew it was God. What a hoot. Or even throwing light. So when you throw light and they'll puff up like a band, like they'll get bigger, right? Or they'll stand their ground. If they don't get bigger, usually if it's trickster energy, they can't hold it. They can't hold that light. They can't be in that same space of such intentional light of love. And they will either fade away or they'll not be strong. You'll feel it in your heart. You'll know it. You'll be like, I don't know if I want to talk to this person. You don't have to talk to anybody. Anybody. You can say, go, I have no time with you. For you, go to the light, whatever you want to do. You can call on your angels to say, take this being away. They're trying to talk to me and I have no intention of talking to them. You can ask an angel to tell you what they want to say. Maybe they're some distant family member that you never met, but they want to tell you something about the family. You're like, okay, I'll take that information, but your energy's gunky. I don't need to talk to you. So whether you ask, are you of God? Are you of truth? Are you of the light? Or throw light at them. These are skills to learn for your own safety and sense of awareness. Do you want to converse with them? Are they who they say they are? Are they of goodness and truth? Because what happens when people open up to the spirit realm and they direct it, right? A lot of my experiences happened to me. And then all of a sudden I learned, wait a second, I can control this and go looking in the realms, which is how I found my guide, Samuel, who taught me all about spirit work and teaching and everything, because I went looking and connected with the being that was aligned with my highest truth that could come forward and give me lessons on this work. But when I did that, I had to check, are you of God? And so if you get someone that you don't want to talk to, you don't have to talk to them. Even if they want to talk to you. I can't tell you how many aliens want to talk to me. And I'm like, no, not my work. Medical mediums, not my work. Finding lost people or whatnot, not my work. My work is teaching connection. So in my form of highest truth, I go to God. I don't go to higher beings or whatever. I go to God. So to me, that's the cosmic all, the great spirit, So it's important that you check with the source of the information, that it is of the highest truth. And those are just a couple of the ways you can do that. Now, you're going to feel in your heart if it's a good connection, if it's a sound connection, if it is moved with love, you're going to feel that radiance of love, if it's a connection that you want to maintain. And again, at any point where you're like, this does not feel right for me, I am not going to do this, you can just turn your attention away from them. How do you do that? Look it. It's like when you're at a party and you're like, ew, that dude gives me the willies. I am not going to go up to talk to him or her. And I see them making a beeline for me, and I'm going to be like, no, thanks. And then I'm busy and turn my attention over to this other conversation or whatnot. Same difference, people. Same difference. But you got this. Totally know you do. If by chance you get trickster energy coming in, then you might be like, oh, I forgot to surround myself with light and love. Or maybe this is a lesson. Listen, I'm just saying that this stuff can happen. Mostly it does not happen, but it's good to know who you're connecting with. Because remember astral, where there's guides, loved ones that have crossed, that's also through the realm through which we connect with animals and the elemental kingdom. You have to make sure you're connecting to truth. So you're going to have to throw light. You're going to have to feel the connection in your heart and have your intention set with who you want to connect with. Okay, so yeah. Now, don't you dare think you're going to have to memorize all of these things. I just want you familiar with them so that when I go into, depth in each of them and I bring you into the classroom of their experience, you're like, oh, I remember vaguely what that was about. So, if you're a note taker like me, you're frantically taking notes, but I just want you to kind of get this. All right. So no worries. Just go easy on yourself. I believe in you. And it's all part of our evolution. So you innately do this. I'm just here to remind you that you do and you can. Okay, so this is your homework for this week. I want you to find some quiet time, whether you have 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour, and I want you to sit quietly, put your feet on the floor or sit in your chair, just calming and quietly, or lay down if that's more comfortable. Maybe some of you need to be laying down, or maybe that's where your position is all the time. So I want to honor that. And I want you to set your intention that you want to connect with the highest being that's aligned with your truth. And I want you to surround yourself with light, setting the intention that it's protecting. I want you to ground your energy. And by that, I mean no distractions. I just want you to be present in your thoughts. And you can also imagine your energy running through your body, actually from the heavens. You could grab it from the heavens. Ooh, that's a new thing. I'm throwing it in anyway. Grabbing it from the heavens. Imagine light coming down from the heavens, running it through your body and down out your feet. And then, again, surrounding yourself with love and protection so that you are in your own space and bubble. And in that moment, ask to be connected to the highest being that is aligned with your truth, that can come forward and give you a message. And then ask, tell me what I need to know. And then I want you to trust the first impressions or first experiences. Use any of the skills that I mentioned. If you see someone in your mind's eye, throw light. If you feel a presence, ask, are you of God? All of these things, and say, what is it that is for my highest good to know in this moment? That's what I want you to practice with. And then next time we get together, I'm going to talk about how we get our information from spirit. I'm going to talk about the various methods of the soul's awareness. But I want you to practice this part this week as much as you can. When you do your homework, I want you to trust the first thing that comes to mind, the first thought that comes in. Because after that, the ego loves to embellish and discredit and think you're making it up and everything. Don't forget, remember, fear, disbelief, overeagerness, all those things. So if you don't get anything, you can say, help me make a strong connection. You're offering that prayer up to the highest truth. All right, and then ask your question again. Tell me something I need to know. And trust the first thing that comes in. All right, cool. Then when you are finished with the connection, and once you've gotten your message from spirit, from the highest truth, then I want you to thank that being of light for that message, for the connection. And then I want you to do what's called disconnecting. Once you're finished saying your thank yous, I want you to take a deep breath back into your body and ground your energy in the present moment. By using the breath, I want you to pull in energy from the other realms, or your focused awareness from the other realms or from that space. And as you exhale, imagine the energy running down out your feet so that you are fully in your body and fully grounded in your presence in your body, and you're not connecting anymore. And when you're ready, bring your awareness back to the room and open your eyes, and then have a good stretch. You've been listening to Soul Awareness with Constance Messmer. It's been an honor to share with you. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, this is a little bonus, or maybe it's actually a PS. So off the last session. Listen, I want to talk to you about energy. Remember when I said I don't really understand it? It's because I don't understand the physics of our ability to surround ourselves with light and the vibration of a higher form of light when we're wrapping ourselves in light for protection. I don't understand how it works on a physicist level, but I do understand how it works on an energetic level, because everything's made up of energy. We've had this discussion before, and there's frequencies of vibration. So I know that I'm a fabulous manifester, and I bet you are too. You just have to work with it all. I think I'll probably do a podcast on that. To be continued. But when we wrap ourselves with light with the intention, or we shift our awareness and shift our vibration, and just by intention and paying attention in a different direction, we are moving energy. We are capable of throwing light, like my grandmother taught me. And I'm teaching you. We are capable of taking these things that we can't necessarily see and actually having them occur. And you just have to trust that it's happening. All right. This is, it's kind of like the power of prayer. You're like, I don't understand the frequency of that vibration necessarily, although in some ways I do. Another episode. Yes, I will get into it. But I'm just wanting you to know that I just don't understand the physics of it, but I do understand the energetic mechanics of it. And so I just wanted to clarify that. The same is true with how we can be energy conductors or energy transmuters, how we can move energy from the heavens to within our body and then out from our hands or our eyes or our feet, probably because we're made up primarily of water. And isn't water an energy conductor? It's the same principle, or the same pathway, if you will. And I want to touch back to when I was saying in the last episode about grounding in the body. It's the same as centering. Okay. Exact same thing. So I got a couple email questions on that. They're like, are you talking centering? And I'm like, oh, yeah. I just often say grounding in the body for me because I'm an empath and I can be all over the place. Like I could be centered in my body, but also my heightened awareness is turned on. And so I'm hyper aware of my energetic surroundings and needs. So centering to me is the same as being grounded in the body. To me, I just use the phraseology grounded in the body to help remind my brain what it is I'm really after. I'm really wanting to stay all as one, solidified, ready, focused in the present, at the task, whatever it is. And so, yes, you could definitely call it centering before you ground your energy into the earth, before you head up and open up your awareness to the higher realms or the task at hand. Legally speaking, this podcast is presented solely for educational, spiritual, and entertainment purposes. It is not intended as a substitute for medical diagnosis, treatment, or the advice of a physician, psychotherapist, or other qualified professional. You should not use this information to diagnose or treat a health problem or condition. Always check with your doctor. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today. If you've enjoyed this episode of Soul Awareness with Constance Messmer, we'd like to encourage you to continue your spiritual journey with this next episode.